After famous Christian apologist Ravi Zacharias was exposed for misusing his power in ministry to take advantage of women, his daughter recently left that ministry and decided to start her own ministry defending the Christian faith. And in today's video, we're going to discuss if we should hope for her success in the ministry, and the one thing which many people will say is a big reason we shouldn't trust her going forward. There's three things I want to discuss in today's video, and the first thing is also around what I've just been reading on a day-to-day basis in my private Bible study, and that is around 1st and 2nd Kings in the Bible. There's an example I want to share with you right now which is very paramount and very prevalent throughout the book of Kings, and let me just show you what I mean. This is a king named Ammon who was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 2 years only in Jerusalem, and it tells us who his mother's name was. And it goes on to say, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord, as his father Manasseh did. And he walked, it says, in all the ways of his father, and served idols that his father served, and worshipped them. And he forsook the Lord God of his fathers, and walked not in the way of the Lord. And let's look at what happened now after 2 years of Ammon being king in Jerusalem. In verse 23 it says, and the servants of Ammon conspired against him, and killed him in his own house. So there was a conspiracy to wipe out the king. In verse 24 it says, the people of the land slew the people who were committing treason, and they made Ammon's son Josiah king in his stead. And it goes on to talk about his burial, as you can see here, and other acts that he did in the book of Chronicles, another book in the Old Testament. Now, if you haven't realized at this point in today's video why this is relevant to this particular topic about Ravi Zacharias' daughter starting a new ministry, the next couple of lines in the passage as we go to the next chapter should make this ever so clear. So as you can see in the next chapter, it talks about now this king Josiah, who was 8 years old when he began to reign, and it says he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. It tells us who his mother's name is right here, and it says he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in all the ways of David his father, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left. Let's say Ravi Zacharias was a charlatan, he fleeced the flock, he misused his power. That doesn't necessarily now dictate that his daughter's ministry is going to be just the same, because Ammon was a wicked king, but his successor Josiah was a great king. And look at this last verse here I'll show you. In 2 Kings 23, there was no king like him before him that turned to the Lord with all his heart and with all his soul and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses, neither after him arose there any like him. So the fact is, these are the kind of prayers and things we should be hoping for in regard to Ravi Zacharias' daughter's ministry. We should be hoping that she doesn't take after what Ravi Zacharias did, and she is actually someone like Josiah in the Bible who drastically turned things around from her parents' decisions. Now, the second thing I want to highlight is the fact that just because Ravi Zacharias did something wrong, that doesn't mean we should now judge her faith or her ministry because of what Ravi Zacharias did. That wouldn't necessarily be fair for us to do as just humans who are fallible as well. The fact is, we could look at Ezekiel chapter 18 right here. We could look at a couple of verses, and this is where God is basically chastising the Israelites. And he says, look, if there's a person, a man, right, who has a son that sees all of his father's sins which he has done and considers them and does not do like, just like we looked at in Josiah, right, a moment ago, he has not eaten upon the mountains or lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel. He has not defiled his neighbor's wife. He has not done any of these sins mentioned here in 16 and done many of these good things to people in verse 17, as it says here. The child will be spared from punishment, but notice what it says in 18, his father, because he cruelly oppressed and spoiled his brother by violence and did not good among his people, lo, even he shall die in his iniquity. So there's a differentiation between the father and the son, the same way in which there should be a differentiation between Ravi Zacharias' ministry and his daughter's. Now, there clearly are going to be people who look at this and say, look, why isn't she punished? She deserves to be punished because Ravi Zacharias is long gone and can't be punished himself. And look at the next two lines in this passage in Ezekiel, which I think kind of answers this question quite clearly. Yet ye say, so the Israelites are saying, why does not the son bear the iniquity of the father? When the son has done that which is lawful and right, and kept all my statutes and done them, he shall live, the Lord said. And he goes further and reiterates this point. The soul that sins, that soul should die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. So there is a clear distinction between father and son, and we need to be mindful when we think about this, no matter what a father has done or what a son has done in ministry. Now, the one thing I was alluding to at the start of this video, which may have people saying, look, you know what, we are not able to trust Ravi Zacharias' daughter. And that could be potentially if she knew what her father was up to. If she knew what her father was up to and didn't say anything or just covered it up and went about her business, that would be a very big problem for many people in the Christian community, especially even people outside of the Christian community, looking at her ministry and wondering if we can actually really trust her. But the fact of the matter is, at this point in time, the reports that have ultimately come out have basically said that this wasn't necessarily some wide-blown thing. There were people that had concerns and raised questions, but the fact of the matter is it doesn't seem to suggest to us that the family members knew what was ultimately going on. They actually seem to be part of this whole deception by Ravi as well. And the fact of the matter is there are always signs which expose people like Ravi Zacharias in the end. And in this video, I look at 4 examples recently which have exposed many people as well.